Okay, Jimmy, let's hit it.
Welcome to the Gratefully Yours Wine Podcast. I am Jim Campanini, co-host of the show, with my good friend, the wine butler, Mike Pigeon.
Good morning, James.
This podcast is coming to you from the InsideLowell studios in beautiful, glorious downtown Lowell. Our chief producer and engineer, Teddy Panos, is in the house. Teddy, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. Good morning, guys.
Very good. This InsideLowell podcast is coming to you from the WellPoint studios. WellPoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. I don't know if Robert Kennedy endorses WellPoint, but that's for the political show and Peter Lucas, you know. But we'll have to see about that. But, so we haven't had a show in almost about a couple of weeks because
summer schedule.
Yeah, we've been. I've been traveling, and you've been home sitting on your duff, reading books, drinking wine. What wines have you been drinking?
Oh, I had a little wine last night at Fidelity from Goldschmidt out there.
Yeah, Nick Goldschmidt,
we met him,
good.
had that.
California.
And then, we had that interesting Barolo that I brought over your house for that beautiful cookout on Labor Day with the steak tips and everything.
Yeah, that was very good.
I think I liked that a little better than you did. But I got 94 points in Wine Spectator. I had to refute that, but I liked it.
Yeah, did I open up a?
No, you had that sitting there, but I was insistent we try mine because
So I've had a lot of interesting wines the last, I went to Vermont, Ludlow, Vermont, Okemo Mountain. I played golf for 3 days up there with my fraternity brothers.
That's always a great time.
Oh, it was fantastic. Played a great course, Fox Run Golf Club, and stayed in my Tom Drury's. He's a fraternity brother. Stayed in his ski lodge. Oh, it was absolutely tremendous. A log cabin, 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, a grill room inside the house, big stone fireplace outside. A hot tub that seats 10 with music, embedded. You could play music and the lights. Was beautiful. And then we drove over to Saratoga for 4 days of racing. But in between, we went out to eat dinner. So I drank some good wines. We tried Johnny's Old Vines Infidel, which was good. My brother John.
Did he bring a couple of bottles?
Brought a couple of bottles.
It's
Guys
not
loved
too bad,
it.
is it? It's pretty decent.
And then Tom has a nice Brunello collection.
Yeah.
So we're drinking some Brunellos from 2010. Oh,
that's 15 and 10. Great years.
They were delicious. Yeah. And then one of my favorite restaurant up at when we go to Saratoga is the Wishing Well. Okay, and it's right outside of Saratoga. It's in Grovesport. There's no port, but that's besides the point. But all the horse people go there. Matter of fact, the night that we were in there, Sean Flanagan and his family, Dave Flanagan, they were in there because Sean owns horses. He owns Chancer McPatrick, the Flanagan Racing Stable. They're from Lowell. Okay, they were up there at the Wishing Well, having a good time. The wives were with them, and I got to meet them. And then Kenny McPeak, the owner of Mystic Dan, won the Kentucky Derby. He's had some great horses. He owns Torpedo Anna, which is the top filly and runner in America right now. Sprint filly 2 years in a row, and so he was in there. And we had a great time. But they have that was the first place I had the Innocent Saint Innocent Pinot Noir, like about 12 years ago from Oregon, a boutique winery, only makes like about at the time it was like 5,000 bottles a year. Oh, and I just was won over by it, and I started getting it, buying it and stuff. My wife, Mary Lee, the wine goddess, she loved it. But I said, Bob, who owns the restaurant, I said, gee, it's no longer on the wine menu. And he says, no, it's just getting hotter and harder to get. Plus, they raising the prices. They all are. So he says, you got to be cost conscious and stuff. Plus, what will the clientele tolerate? I mean, for a wine that used to be a great value at $60 a bottle, in the restaurant, now he's got to sell it for 85, and he's got other selections on it. So it's a tough market for even restaurateurs. But we had we drank some Merlot and up there, which it was and Rioja with the steak, Spanish Rioja. Yeah. But the Merlot, we had the veal chop, which was in bone, which was really nice. And it just goes to show the seasons now are changing. We've had a lot of white wine during the summer, chilled white wine, in lighter reds, during the summer months and stuff. Now, as we're moving into September, October, the cooler weather, we go into the a little more fuller, robust wines. A little higher alcohol, okay? And, people drink Cabernet Sauvignon all year round, especially with their, grilled meats and their grilling and stuff. But I've always been a fan of Merlot. Merlot, the French Merlot is stunning. It is one of the core grapes in Bordeaux wines. Okay, when I took my wine class and went for my certification in French wines, you have the left bank and the right bank and Merlot. You had to learn that the right bank blend has, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Petit Verdot. It has a little more Merlot in it than Cabernet.
Saint Emilion wines.
That's right. And then the left bank wines have more Cabernet than Merlot as a rule and stuff. So, but they produce 100% varietals. Now Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and stuff, because they can stand off on their own. They're so good. And then Italy, they started making the Bordeaux-style grapes in the late 70s because they wanted to prove that they had the soil and the soil type and the land to create good Bordeaux-style wines. And that was the that was the seed to create some of those great Super Tuscan wines.
Tuscans, yeah.
Like Ornellaia and some of those others that have just done so well for the Italian winemakers and stuff. So today, I wanted to tease you with this nice Merlot from California, which has really, has produced some great Cabernets and Merlot, which I think Merlot is still, a widely planted grape, even though it's lost some of the acreage in the last 10 years. They've cut back, as they've done more Zinfandels, and Zinfandel has made a comeback and stuff. But this Merlot comes from Paso Robles, the Santa Margarita ranch. It's called Ancient Peaks. It's in the west. It's only 14 miles from the Pacific Ocean. Okay, and the ranch used to be an ancient seabed. One time. All the water, the seashells. They used to cover California.
Like Salt Lake City.
Exactly.
Salt Lake.
So you've got a lot of that minerality that, in Bordeaux, you got the three rivers that come through Bordeaux and right from the, the Atlantic and stuff, and it brings a lot of those seashells, nutrients. There's a lot of mussels, and all that kind of shellfish and everything else. But it has a definitely an influence on this area and stuff. And Ancient Peaks has done the winery has done real well with their wines, capturing those special characteristics in their wines. So we're gonna try this, and you're gonna tell me what you think. Now, this wine received, this is the 2022, I believe, 2021 Merlot. You know, Merlot ages gracefully and for a long time. You can age Merlot for 15, 20 years. A good bottle of Merlot, especially from France. Merlot is also doing well in Washington State.
I can't remember the last time I had a straight Merlot that wasn't a
100%.
blend, and it's a little strange to me now.
So the alcohol level is 14.3%.
Yeah.
Okay, and but the fragrance.
Yeah, that's sort of.
It's always strong. One thing about a good Merlot, it's always got that nice a blackberry. You know, the black fruit always comes through. And if you say, gee, what is black fruit? You know, those blackberry, even, you know, it's very, very strong, and black currants, jammy, very jammy, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, and you smell it and you just want to taste it. Now, you know, it's got that nice, dark crimson, but it's not as dark as Cabernet Sauvignon, or even you know, the Zinfandel. You can just barely make out the shadow of your fingers underneath the bottom of the glass.
Doesn't seem as thick as some of the Merlots I've had. I mean, it's been a long time since I've had a straight Merlot. It wasn't part of a blend. It seems a little foreign to me.
Really?
No pun intended.
It's got a nice texture. It's grippy. I mean, this is still considered a young Merlot, but I think from a taste factor, it's got really dark cherry, blackberry. It's
very dark. Yeah.
It's got a nice spiciness to it.
Yep.
Very nice spiciness to it, and
warming feeling. It's nice.
Yes,
Yeah, nice,
yes.
Nice feeling.
And you could sit by the fire with this, or even have this with your nice grilled meats. I mean, that's what this is for. This is for you know, the not the gamey meats, but well, I shouldn't say that, because venison, they drink a Merlot with
boar,
wild boar. You know, you're not going to find that here in New England, but this is a good sirloin steak wine, and
it's on the menus now someplace.
oh yes. Yeah. And you know, I think for Cabernet drinkers who, you know, sometimes you hit a wall and you want to try something different, a little taste factor. I mean, Merlot is a very, very tasty wine. It's a noble grape in France, and it just delivers. I think so much taste. And this wine, this was rated. The Wine Spectator gave it 90 points, and Wine Enthusiast gave it 91 points. And it cost $14.99, which is the real value of it. So I think this one from Ancient Peaks,
so you think it's been making
punches above its weight.
So you think it's been making a comeback since the movie Sideways, huh?
Oh yeah, that yeah.
But it is a good wine. It always has been. It's just kind of overlooked with all the blends now, and it's. I think it plays more of a bigger part in the blends than it does just standing on its own. But here it is standing on its own.
I mean, it's got a nice structure. I think the acidity is it's not overwhelming, but it's balanced there. That's why that acidity, when it is in balance with the alcohol, this is 14.3% alcohol. I mean, it's smooth. It's a smooth wine. It's got a nice texture. I mean, that's why it goes so well with food.
How much was that a bottle?
$14.99.
Oh, steel. Not even
Yeah.
a good buy of steel
Yeah.
almost. That's
Yeah.
good. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to do a little experiment with you. I brought in this nice bar of Frey chocolate, okay?
Yeah,
Because
that's it.
Merlot is a great wine with it's got the chocolatey flavors in it and stuff.
See,
And,
ever since you found out I was a diabetic, you've been trying to push chocolate in me. I don't know what
I don't
that's
know.
about, but
Really? Are you? Are you diabetic? So we're gonna just break off a little piece. And a good friend of mine, a city councilor who will be remain unnamed,
You have a
who went
friend
to
that's a city
Switzerland for
councilor?
that recent
Rita.
conference.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mention any names. Okay.
oh, she's my friend.
Brought this back for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
As a gift. Very, very nice. Okay. And it costs less than $5, so he didn't have to declare
Oh,
it. nor
he.
did I.
Okay, that lets that out. You use the word
So
he.
have a little taste. Have a little taste of this nice dark chocolate. Just like that, penetrate. Okay? And then have a little sip of the Merlot.
I like to have it melt in my mouth rather than chew it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, influences the taste a little, but Merlot has some of those chocolatey, ingredients in
there
it.
that
So
relates
this
to it.
only heightens and enhances the flavor. Not that you're going to eat the chocolate with the steak and the veal chop and then the Merlot, but this is, Merlot sometimes has that chocolate. Not so much coffee, but it could, it all depends how it is made. But it does give off sometimes those definitely spiciness, like mocha, Swiss chocolate. If you're making the hot chocolate and stuff like chocolate.
Yeah,
stuff.
the taste buds
So,
recognize it. Yeah.
so did you want to taste a
Yeah,
little?
you always
Yeah.
give me the little glass here, so I not know. That's good. Yeah, just a little
Okay,
taste.
see, that is. All right, so.
I like the chocolate
chocolate's
too.
good.
Now, yeah, we'll get hooked on the chocolate.
We'll give Teddy a piece later. Because this might be all that Lowell gets for its alliance with the
Yeah, they made for
new
each other.
Switzerland organization. I don't even know what is the name of it, Teddy?
Front Runner City.
Front Runner City. Yeah, yeah. So, Says I could sit here all day and drink this Merlot and eat this chocolate, but I have to play golf in the Merrimack Valley Food Bank fundraiser this afternoon. So I've been a little unsteady off the tee without alcohol. So I can't. But I think this is. I think this wine from Ancient Peaks. If you read a little about it, the Santa Margarita Ranch is a unique place, and only 14 miles from the Pacific Ocean. Yes, it's got alluvial soils, but also it was one time an ancient seabed. The ocean spilled over that coast, that beautiful coast in California, and left those deposits, in the millennial, and then as the water receded, those things, those nutrients, the seashells and other deposits from the ocean, they get into the soils and stuff, and when those vines are planted and those roots go down and are starved for moisture, they dig really deep. They work hard to pull up that moisture, and when they do that, they bring up all those that little minerality and other things that go into the the vein of the fruit and stuff. So I think it's I think you'll pick up a lot from this bottle of Ancient Peaks Merlot. This is, like I said, the 2021, and it's selling for $14.99 and most stores, chain outlets and stuff. So you'll definitely get a good deal. What do you think, Mike?
Excellent, excellent. It's hard to realize that's good. Well, you picked other good wines for that price.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
I was looking back. I think right now there's a special. I saw it on Wine Slash. It's an online wine dealer. They had the Luke Cabernet and Merlot. Now that's from Washington State, we've talked about that before because the Wine Connection carries Luke.
Yeah, that's good. The Cabernet
Yes.
I've had, yeah.
And it was selling at Wine Slash for $17 a bottle. I mean, all prices have gone up, Luke is now gone beyond the $20 range most places. Last time I was on the Wine Connection, it was bumping up against there. I mean, Wine Connection used to sell it. It was a steal. I still think it's a steal at $20. Where do you get a Cabernet Sauvignon rated 91, 92 points for $20? It still is. But they also do the Merlot, a really good Merlot, and it's called Luke. I mean, this fits right in that category, that value category. Why we have special wines that we love, and that we'll pay for, especially on special occasions. But if it's your income style and you're not losing out for $14.99 wine, when it's made well, structured well, comes from a great site. And this is what makes hunting for wines so wonderful. That's why I love to do it. Mike loves to go on the trips. We taste the wines and stuff, and we find you find a couple of gems.
So for a reminder, that's Ancient Peaks.
Yes, Ancient Peaks, and the best part is tasting them from year to year, that they stay consistently good. It just says good things about the winery and the team. The team is stable, stay in place. They're taking care of the grapes, and I think these are organic grapes too. Sustainable farming. It doesn't say it, but I did read something about Santa Margarita Ranch being sustainable farming. Yeah, it's got the certification seal right here on the bottle. Okay, so that's good. It also says on the bottle, recommended pairings include beef tenderloin, lamb chops, and mushroom risotto. That's not bad, huh?
It's a good menu.
Yeah,
One of each.
very nice.
Just a question. Say they have a winemaker, and for some reason something happens to the winemaker, or he has to move away, and they hire a new one. Do you think he'd have to stay? The owner would say, "We're staying with this formula," or does the winemaker come in and says, "I want to tweak it this way or that way"? I wonder how much license they have to do that.
I think in this case, the winemaker and owners are the same here.
Yeah.
It's Doug Filipponi, Carl Wittstrom, and Rob Rossi. Now they're the owners, co-owners, but I think Doug Filipponi is the winemaker. So, but that's a good question. In most cases, they have an assistant winemaker.
Yeah.
And the assistant winemaker usually gets promoted. I mean, the formula's the same. They all work on it. They have a strategy and stuff. And
of course, it's coming out of the same land where they harvest the grapes. So
certainly, a winemaker with experience who knows the land makes somewhat of a difference. But most winemakers nowadays, the best ones, hands off policy. They don't try to manipulate the wines, like they used to in the past. And stuff. So they make sure they're very organized. They make sure that the vineyards are kept up. Whether they have to trim back some of the canopy or on the vines or whatever type of vines they have. And you know, they test constantly. They're like scientists testing the soil and stuff like that. So it's become the best ones really nurture the land, and they know the vine's going to take care of itself.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the best part of it. Okay, so we tried the Merlot. All right, how are we doing on time? Do you want to try the little the gem I found on the Sangiovese?
I'm always open to putting a glass to my lips.
Okay, all right. So here's a second bottle, okay, that I found over the weekend and in my travels. Rubio, okay, from San Polo Winery, and this is from Montalcino, where Montalcino is where Brunello comes from, one of the most prestigious wines in Italy. It's from the Sangiovese Grosso grape, okay, which is the most noble grape with the Nebbiolo, which comes from the Piedmont, where they make Barolo in northern Italy. Okay, Sangiovese is still king in Italy and stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing here, San Paolo produces some of the best Brunello. I mean, I was telling Mike before the show, they've got 3 or 4 Brunello di Montalcinos from the different estates. They cost $350 a bottle. They're rated, 93 to 95 points and stuff. And so I saw this, and this is a Sangiovese-based wine, Rubio, from the same estate. Basically, Sangiovese that doesn't make the cut to get into the upper echelon wines and stuff. But I always preach about look for those second tier wines, because they're coming from great estates, from great land, great terroir. And this is another one that's selling for $14.99. So I've never tried it before. I've had the San Paulo Brunello, okay, before, and I've even had their Rosso di Montalcino, which is the baby Brunello. That's also, they use. That's a wine that is produced to sell quickly because they need income. A Brunello has to, by law, has to sit for 5 years, be aged for up to 5 years before it can sold to the public. So it ages, and those winemakers, they'd go out of business without any income for 5 years. So what they do is they make the Rosso di Montalcino, which has to be aged for 1 year, and then they could put it out as a baby Brunello. The prices are much cheaper than the regular Brunello. The taste is still a fantastic tasting wine, but it's lighter. It's lighter than the aged Brunello di Montalcino. So we're gonna try right away. You can see the difference in coloration from the Merlot.
Yeah.
Merlot is much darker.
Yeah.
This looks a little lighter. And also the fragrance is different. It's not as strong, not as fragrant as the Merlot.
Yeah, a couple levels down. Not 2 notches down.
And it's earthy. It's earthy.
Yeah, very.
It's got
Yeah.
more earthy tones. And so Rubio, Toscana. All right, let's give it a little shot. Let's give it a taste. Now Sangiovese, these wines go great with pasta, with a little, the red sauce, but it's also good with.
This is much lighter on the nose. The other one says, "Oh, I better beware," but this is very lighter.
Oh, wow! Sweet, delicious.
2 good wines again.
And when I say sweet, not that it's sugary,
Not sugary.
it's fruity. You get that cherry, raspberry.
Lighter on the palate. The
Oh,
lighter
lighter
it
on
is,
the
the
palate.
more sugary it would taste. Yeah.
It's not as grippy as the Merlot, which tells me, that the tannins are still working in that Merlot. hot, smooth. Oh man, this is
A good one to go from the summer months into the winter months.
Yes,
A little lighter
transition.
than the Merlot, and yeah.
mm.
Still goes good with that chocolate taste in my mouth too from the last chocolate. It's very nice.
Wow.
You pick good wines out. You
Well,
know,
and
but,
it's
yeah.
got that richness, even though it's not heavy.
Yeah, no,
It's got
not at
that
all.
fills your mouth, and it leaves you a little. It really sparks up that the back of your palate here. You say to yourself, "Wow, it's an alert. It's an alert wine." What is the alcohol content in this?
Probably 13.5.
13.5.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. San Paulo Winery in Montalcino strives to showcase the intrinsic potential of the terroir of this region while also being great stewards of the incredible place. Made with organically grown grapes and fermented and aged in stainless steel. So this sees no oak. So it's all, it's got the natural expression of Sangiovese. That's why I think it's got that nice, compelling fruitiness.
For those people through the summer have switched maybe off the red wines to go to cocktails and nice summer drinks, this is a good reminder that wine at a good price can be a good drink still, especially with food.
Yeah.
Especially with food.
I got to get a couple more. Like I said, this is the first time I've tried this, and at $14.99, this is a steal from a great winery. I mean, you're not dealing with some fly-by-night operation. These people know how to make wine. I think both of these bottles, the Ancient Peaks and the Rubio from San Paulo, are both great deals for you to try. I mean, you could put either one of these on a table with whether
any
it's
dish that you make, and it'd
any
be fine.
dish you make. If you're having guests over, I think they'd be fascinated.
And if you're the people that's only going to have, which is reasonable, one bottle of wine a week with a nice meal at the end of the week, $15 for a bottle of wine, that's nothing.
Yeah, and during the summer, I really didn't drink as much red wine. But when I did open a bottle, it usually lasted 3 or 4 days. And my friends would say, "Jim, how could you let the red wine?" I says, "Well, sit for 3 or 4 days." No, I put a cork on it. Okay, let me show you. The wine goddess, buys these at the dollar store. You put these right in there, okay, and you put them in the refrigerator, and you just let them stay there until you're going to take it out again. And then you take it out a half an hour or 45 minutes before you're going to drink it with your meal, and you have it. And you know what I found? Like even with your Barolo and the Brunellos that I've had, it tastes better the second day. They're like, meatloaf leftovers. I love second day meatloaf. But I find it's really because that oxidation, it really brings out the fragrance in the wines. Now you don't want it to go over a week, but I usually drink it all within 4 days. And if there's a little left over, my wife makes the pasta for the weekend. It goes right into the ragu sauce. So, but
That's long enough to keep a red wine 4 days. Red ones were putting it in the fridge gives you one more day with it, But anything all 4 days.
But you just bring it out half an hour, 45 minutes before you're gonna use it, and it's all right to put a little chill on red wine during the summer. It gets very hot.
Oh yeah.
The Portuguese do it. The Spanish do it. More and more. Even in Northern Europe, they do it. It's they do it down in Latin America too.
Hey, I'm half French, half Irish. I do it.
Yeah.
So
So you got 2 great wines there, all for a great budget price of $14.99. I mean, that's a steal. They're both in that 91 point range. Okay, and they're very expressive. I think you and your guests will really, really enjoy them. Anything to add, Mike?
No, thanks again for bringing in those good wines. You surprise me with them, and it's always a pleasant surprise most of the time, and this is one of them. That's excellent.
Okay, well, until next week's show, may the wine
Be with
be
you.
with you.
Salute.